Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. Today's video, I am super excited because we're going to be playing around and testing with some new fragrances. Actually, I've already played around with these. I've tested them all on skin and given them wears to really get my thoughts and opinions on these fragrances. These are new release perfumes, and every single one of these came out in 2024 except for one. There's one in here from 2023. I snuck a 2023 in here, but mostly these are 2024 releases. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about these today. I'm going to let you know what I think, if I think that these are full bottle worthy. Am I going to spend my hard-earned money on these perfumes or not? And of course, I want to hear from you too. If you've tried these, I want to hear your opinions on these fragrances as well. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. On this channel, we mostly talk about perfumes. So if you love talking about perfumes like I do, then I hope you will consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you know every time that I upload. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, these are niche perfumes I'm talking about today. I know some of you guys want me to talk about designers as well, and I do plan on doing that. There are several designer fragrances coming out that I have my eye on and I'm pretty interested in. So I do plan on doing a designer testing, some new releases. I'm really curious about the new Nest Vanilla Bourbon. I'm really curious about the new Gucci, what is it, Vanilla Orchid one? The one in the yellow bottle. Yeah, I really want to get my nose on that one. I want to test, this isn't, I don't think this is designer, it's niche, but the new replica one, Afternoon Delight, have my eye on that. There are several that I feel like I really want to get my nose on. And so I think I'll be doing a Sephora run here pretty soon where I might get some samples or some travel sprays to test these fragrances out. So yes, new designer releases. Oh, how could I forget? Devotion Intense. I absolutely will be testing that. So stay tuned. I will be letting you know about those as well. But today we're going to be talking about niche perfumes. So the first one I tested out was by the House of Kerosene, and this is a house I like a lot. I have a lot of fragrances from this house that I have strong like for, but the only one I've purchased so far is Unknown Pleasures. That's one of my favorite fragrances from this house. It is one of my top 10 for life. It's my favorite gourmand in my collection. It's delicious. So when they came out with Promises, I was pretty excited, especially since it's a very ambery, vanilla, musky fragrance. I love ambery vanillas. Warm vanillas are my thing. It's my jam. I love it. However, when I got a sample of it and tested, it did not work on my skin at all. It had some sort of, I don't know what's in it that's causing this, but there's some sort of animalic note in there that comes off as really very dirty to me, and I'm not into that. It reminded me a lot of Absolute Aphrodisiac from Initio. They're not the same. There's differences between the two, but I don't like Absolute Aphrodisiac at all because it has that dirty animalic feel to it that just, I don't like it. It doesn't smell good on me. It makes me feel like I need to take a shower, and that's how I felt when I wore Promises. Now, I will say that if you like Absolute Aphrodisiac, you might like this. This might be your cup of tea. And also the performance, I just had a sample, but from the sample, the performance was really good. I could definitely smell this on me. There were no issues at all with the performance. So I would say if you like that type of scent profile, you might want to get your nose on it. But for me, it is not working. It's a pass. Okay, I finally got my nose on Xerjoff's Quattro Pizzi, and I have been super curious about this one because there's some notes in that fragrance that scared the heck out of me, like Devana and Hay. Not my thing. You know, I really love Xerjoff. Xerjoff's my favorite niche house, and so anytime they come out with a new fragrance, I'm pretty excited to try it. But I felt like this was going to be a really iffy fragrance for me. Now, I love tuberose and I love coconut, so I was really excited about that. But I will say when I first spray this fragrance, I don't really get coconut. I really don't get coconut at all from the fragrance. I actually put that in my notes. Where's the coconut? I know some people are getting coconut from it. I've heard some people say they're getting that, but I just didn't. To me, this smelled like a very mineral fragrance especially in the opening. It had this very mineral feel to it that I did not like. And then it was really, really aromatic. It smelled really kind of fresh, spicy. I'm not really sure what the spice is in there, but I could definitely tell there was like a aromatic feel to the fragrance that I was not loving. And then as the perfume started to dry down, I did start to pick up on a lot of the rum. Rum really comes forward in this fragrance on my skin, and normally I really like that, but in here it just didn't mix. I felt like the rum didn't make sense with the aromatic notes in here. I don't know, for some reason that doesn't mesh well together in my brain, and it didn't smell good to me. Now, I think this is going to be one of those polarizing scents. Some people are going to love it and some people are going to hate it. It is not a safe blind buy. You absolutely need to test this one out for yourself. I just did not like it at all. I put the notes were kind of all over the place. I feel like it didn't go together. It didn't mesh well. And I don't like the Devana and the Hay. So this was a hard pass for me. Okay, I was curious about the new Sora Dora. It's called Elop, I think is how you pronounce it. It's Yelop, I think it's Elop. And this one I really didn't think I would like because it has a tea note and it also has rosemary, and that is again very aromatic herbal kind of notes that I don't really typically like. Now, tea can be tricky. Sometimes tea can be something I like in Unknown Pleasures from Kerosene has an Earl Grey tea note in it that I really enjoy. But if it's too green or too bitter of a tea note, I don't like it. And that's kind of the tea I was getting in this fragrance. So I think there's apricot and green apple and tea in the opening. I do pick up on the apricot and green apple. There's like a fruity sweetness to the fragrance, but then there's a lot of tea. And then I picked up a lot of the rosemary. Lots and lots of a very herbal aromatic feel to the fragrance that I did not care for. However, I will say that I can see why people would like this though. I don't think the fragrance is bad. And I think if you like tea fragrances and you like aromatic fragrances, if this sounds like your scent profile, I think it's one to get your nose on. I can recognize that it's a good perfume without it actually being one that is for me. It doesn't suit my taste, but it's a good perfume. Does that make sense? You can just tell, hey, if I was really into these notes, I think I'd really like this. It smelled smooth. I really liked the apricot and the green apple in the opening. It gave a sweet fruitiness without it being too sweet. And I think there are going to be a lot of people who like this fragrance. So if it sounds good to you, if you like tea fragrances, I highly recommend getting your nose on it because I do think it's a good perfume. It just does not fit my personal taste. All right, up next we have a house that I had never heard of before. I think it's Ulyka Perfumes, and I think this is Nota. It's either Nota or Nota Sugar. Not 100% sure, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. It definitely has been getting some hype here on YouTube, and I was very intrigued because the notes sound right up my alley. The notes are pineapple, caramel, coconut in the opening. Okay, that's a Jackie perfume right there. Then we have raspberry, vanilla, almond, tonka bean, musk, and heliotrope. Oh, love every single one of those notes. So when I heard about this, I was like, yes, I absolutely need to try it. I think I'm going to love it. And I was right. I do. I love this perfume. This was love at first sniff. It is delicious. Now, I am a gourmand lover, and I do not care if gourmands are going out of style. I've heard that from a couple people. I've heard that gourmands are kind of like fading and people are less interested in gourmands. I will be a diehard gourmand fan for my entire life. I love sweet perfumes. I love delicious perfumes because I love sugar and I like eating desserts. I love smelling like a dessert. I love eating desserts. Yeah, I tried to not eat sugar for a while. I went on a no sugar thing for a while, but I couldn't do it. I fell, I fell hard, okay? And just decided that maybe I should just try like moderation instead of trying to deny myself sugar. It's just, I love it too much. Cookies, cake, pie, ice cream, I love all of that so much. I don't think I'm ever going to stop loving gourmands, even if they're not popular anymore. But this perfume, they're still popular though, because this perfume is making its rounds on YouTube and people are talking about it. But I will say, if you're getting sick of gourmands or you're not a gourmand person, if you don't actually want to smell like food, this perfume's not for you. This perfume is a realistic foodie, at least it is on me, a realistic foodie, sticky, sweet gourmand. So if that's not your thing, just run away, look the other way. This is not for you. But if you love that type of fragrance, this is fantastic. Now, what I really like about this fragrance is that even though it is a sticky, sweet, juicy, pineapple, yummy, delicious perfume, it's not so much that it makes me sick. It's not sickly sweet to me and it's not cloying. Somehow, even though I get this juicy, juicy pineapple, which is my favorite part of the fragrance, juicy, sweet, delicious pineapple note. And then I get a lot of caramel as well. I'm not really picking up coconut. I really didn't pick up any raspberry. There's raspberry in here. Not picking that up, but I get a lot of pineapple and a lot of caramel. And even though I get that, it's not cloying to me. It just doesn't feel overly sickly sweet to me. In the dry down, I get that almond and vanilla feel, which kind of gives me this cake-like feel. To me, this smells like a pineapple upside down cake. But yes, Nota Sugar is definitely on my wish list. It smells delicious. And then the other one from them is Nota Loca. And this one I liked a lot. I thought this was also really, really good, but it is also very, very sweet. So it's very fruity. There's a lot of fruits in the opening of this fragrance, and it's like tropical fruity. And I really, really like that. I love tropical sweet fruity fragrances. A lot of vanilla and tonka bean, and then there's some musk in the fragrance as well. And the fruity notes, though, they didn't seem to me like they were juicy fruity. To me, it was more like candy fruity. I got kind of like a candy feel. It's very sweet. And it was a strong like. I put it's a strong, strong like. I really did find it pretty fun. I liked it. I thought it smelled good, but I didn't love it to the point where I thought, okay, I'm going to buy a full bottle of this because these perfumes are not cheap. And I'm not going to run out and just purchase one of these fragrances because I really like it. I want to absolutely love it. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I still have more left in my sample. I want to wear it one more time just to make sure. But as of right now, I think this is just a very strong like, but not enough of a love to purchase it at full price. Okay, the 2023 release that I was super curious about is from a house called Paradis Des Sens, and this is Valhalla. And this fragrance is a mango fragrance, and I'm not the biggest mango fan, but I was super curious about it because I heard a lot of people saying good things about the fragrance. And it does have high ratings on Fragrance Decant, and it's not just mango. And that kind of intrigued me because I do like mango in my perfumes, but I don't always love it when it's just mango. I'm not a big fan of mango. I don't like the taste of mangoes, and sometimes I don't like the smell of mangoes, and sometimes I do. So this has mango, orange, bergamot, and pear in the opening. It has some jasmine, some woody notes. It's very ambery, vanilla, tonka bean, and it had really high ratings on Fragrantica, and I've heard a lot of people say really good things about it. And I thought, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Let me try it. And I will say it is really good. I really liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot. It is probably one of the best mango centric because that's what I pick up on. Even though there are other fruits in here, I really picked up the mango more than anything. It's one of the best mango centric fragrances that I've ever tried, and it just really was very pleasant. I enjoyed it a lot when I wore it, and I thought, you know, if I loved mango more, this would definitely be full bottle worthy for me. So if you're a mango person, I would say get your nose on Valhalla for sure. It's really, really good. It's very well blended, and I got pretty decent performance out of it from my sample. I wasn't struggling to smell it on me. So yeah, really, really good. But I'm gonna pass just because, like I said, I'm not the biggest mango person. It is very mango centric, and it's not my favorite note. But I definitely appreciated it, and I definitely recommend it if you are a mango person for sure. All right, up next we have a new release from, I think it's Fomowa Paris, and it's Pannaco Tahaa is how, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these names, but I think that's how you pronounce it. And I was really, really curious about this one. Again, it's a mango fragrance, but it's not just mango. It has mango and orange in the opening, and it has a panna cotta note, which, yum. And there's vanilla, saffron, and I typically like saffron in my fragrances. However, I will say in this fragrance, it does not work for me. The saffron does not mix with the rest of the notes in this fragrance. This one I actually truly disliked like a lot. I try to give fragrances a while on my skin, even if I don't like it, because I want to experience the full wear of the fragrance, the opening, the mid, and the dry down to see what it is. But some fragrances I just can't. After a while, as the perfume starts to dry down, if it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse on my skin, I'm like, forget this. I hate this. I'm scrubbing this off. So that's what I did with this fragrance. This was not good to me at all. This has notes in it that I typically love, but I just don't think I like it together. So yeah, mango, orange, and vanilla in the opening. I on paper it seems like I would love this. Vanilla, panna cotta, and then in the base there's saffron, musk, vanilla, benzoin, and tonka bean. These are all notes I love, but somehow they just don't they don't go together. I don't really think the saffron, like I said, I think it's the saffron. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I love saffron, but in here, it doesn't work and it just seemed to like ruin the whole composition of the fragrance, in my opinion. All right, up next, we're going to talk about the new 2024 release from Profumo di Firenze. And this is Latte, I think it's Mandorla. And anyway, I saw Latte and I was like, ooh, yes, latte. I am so into lactonic latte scents. I absolutely love it. So, top notes, you have almond and milk, and that got me. I almost blind bought this fragrance, you guys, because I love that combination of a lactonic almond milky fragrance. In the mid, you have rose and anise, which is definitely two notes that I really typically enjoy. And then base, you have patchouli and musk. Again, I enjoy those as well. Although patchouli, that's what stopped me from buying this, is because I am kind of picky about my patchouli. I do like patchouli in fragrances, but it has to be done a certain way. If I interpret a patchouli as too earthy or dirty, I do not like it. And I feel absolutely positively betrayed by this fragrance. This perfume lied to me, and there's no almond milkiness in this perfume for me. To me, this is a straight up rose patchouli scent. That's what I got from this fragrance. I was actually surprised. I was expecting some rose and patchouli, obviously, their notes in the fragrance, but when I sprayed the sample on my skin, I was like, do I have the wrong sample? I wasn't expecting it to be that rose patchouli heavy. And I looked at it and double checked it and sprayed it again. And I'm like, okay, that's all I'm getting is rose patchouli. And the patchouli in this fragrance is a very dirty, earthy patchouli to me. Again, I did not get that lactonic, almondy feel that I was looking for at all. It was just nowhere to be found. I don't know if I just went nose blind to it or if it just doesn't come out on my skin. I don't know. But if you like rose patchouli scents, you might want to get your nose on this one, but this was such a disappointment. I think out of all the fragrances I tried in this list, this one was probably the most disappointing for me personally. I definitely want to hear from you on this one. Have you tried this? Did you pick up any lactonic notes from this fragrance? And what do you think of the patchouli in here? Because to me, the patchouli is way too earthy, way too dirty smelling for my personal taste. So this is definitely a hard pass for me. Okay, this next perfume is one that I really haven't heard very many people talking about, and I don't really know anything about this house. But when I saw the notes, it was very intriguing. I was looking at Lucky Scent and Twisted Lily. I look at both of those for like new niche perfumes coming out that I might be interested in because the notes are right up my alley. This is a new release from Affinity. It's F-Inity, so I think it's Affinity, and it's called No Limit. Yeah, I've never heard of this house before, so I just did not know what to think. But like I said, when I saw the notes, I was like, yes, I'm getting a sample of this. So top notes, you have coconut and fruity notes. In the mid, you have caramel, ylang ylang, musk, iris, vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli in the base. I love coconut. I love fruity notes. You guys know I love caramel. I really typically love ylang ylang. I mean, all these notes sound amazing. Again, I wasn't sure about the patchouli in here. I'm picky, like I said, about patchouli. So I definitely wanted to get my nose on it because it sounded amazing. And I have to say, you guys, this one was very, very underwhelming. I feel like I'm being super negative in this video. I'm telling you guys, I don't really like any of these fragrances, but that's just how I feel about a lot of these new releases coming out. And I think it's important for someone to come on and tell you guys that because sometimes these perfumes can get hyped. And I'm not saying people aren't telling you the truth because we all have different tastes. We all have different experiences. And some people, I mean, I've had perfumes that I've come on here and told you I loved and hyped them up because that's how I really felt. But then there were other people who didn't like them. That doesn't mean that I was lying. That just means that we have different tastes. So I'm not saying people are trying to deceive you. I'm just saying sometimes I think it's important to hear another perspective from someone who might not be just absolutely loving these fragrances. And I just found this to be so underwhelming. This had so much potential. This could have been something so great, but everything in here seemed muted. It was really weird. I sprayed it and I was like, I could make out faint hints of all the notes. I could make out a faint coconut, a faint fruity note. The caramel even seemed like muted, like not muted, that's not the right word, maybe like diluted. Yeah, it was like watered down. Everything was so watered down in this fragrance. Nothing was like coming out. And it's kind of hard to explain. It was almost like this was a very nondescript fragrance that just was not popping. It just didn't have that thing, you know what I mean? Everything seemed so diluted to me. And I'm like, am I going nose blind? Am I having problems? I actually thought maybe I had just sniffed too many fragrances. The first time I tested it, I was like, okay, my nose is becoming dull. I have now tested out too many fragrances today. I can barely even make out what's in here. I need to put this away and stop testing and go back to it. So I honestly thought it was me at first. But then I went back to it and I got the same experience. It was the first one I tried that day. My nose was fresh and I sprayed it on and I was just like, what the heck is going on with this perfume? It is so diluted to me. So I put, it's nondescript. I can make out the notes, but they almost seem to be faded. I put, it smells good, but it almost seems like it was more of like a body spray than a really expensive niche perfume. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. I would say if you're excited about these notes, if you've heard someone talking about it and you're excited about these notes and it sounds like up your alley, please get a sample of it first and test it out for yourself because I do not think it's a safe blind buy. So that one is a pass for me as well. All right, the last one I'm going to talk about today is one by Snif. This is a 2024 release called Rose Era. And I was excited about this one. I like the House of Snif. I really find a lot of their fragrances to be fragrances that I like. Not all of them I feel like I absolutely need to have, but a lot of them that I've tried, I like Snif. I have Coco Shimmy and I also have, oh my gosh, what is it called? Creme Couture. Creme Couture, the one that smells like a blueberry muffin. It's delicious. But anyway, so I tried Rose Era and I was pretty excited about this one because it sounded like a pretty girl, easy going type of fragrance. So what I really like about this is it's a rosy perfume, but it's soapy. It's real clean smelling. It's like soapy, clean rose, but then it's not overly soapy. It still has other stuff in it, like it has dewdrop in it, which I find to be super refreshing. It's refreshing at the same time. The rose in here is not too sweet. It's definitely rosy. You have to like rose fragrances to like this. It's called Rose Era. But it's not your grandma's rose, you know what I mean? And I really like the fruits in here. There's pear and strawberry that gives it a little bit of a sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. I enjoy this one quite a lot. Now, my hesitation to this fragrance is that it seems a little repetitive, maybe in my collection. I don't know that I need this. You know, this reminds me a lot of um, not Delina's, Parfums de Marly, Delina Ra. Parfums de Marly, Delina La Rose. No, this is not a dupe. Okay, it's not a dupe for that fragrance, but it reminds me of, it's definitely the same vibe. I would want to wear this perfume the same for the same season and the same weather and the same environment as I'd want to wear Delina La Rose. Yeah, I like it a lot though. It's very pretty, but it's not that original, but it's very pretty. Hey, did you guys hear about the, oh my gosh, there's one coming out from Snif, or it's already out. I think you can buy it now. It's called Soda Snob. It's got a Coca-Cola note in it. I am super tempted to just blind buy that. I love Coca-Cola notes in my perfumes. I love fizzy soda smelling fragrances. It's called Soda Snob and it sounds amazing. And I might get that one because I think it sounds like a lot of fun, but I might get this one too. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. Again, it's really, really good if you like soapy, rosy, semi-sweet, refreshing, clean rose fragrances. Definitely get your nose on it. But I still haven't made up my mind if I'll get a full bottle of it or not. I don't need another one of these fragrances, but man, this sure is pretty. I really do like it. All right, you guys, that's it for today's video. Those are some fragrances that I have been testing. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more testing videos coming up. There are so many perfumes I'm curious about, but I'm trying to do better at just testing first before I buy. But I'm not always successful at that, but I do have a lot of fun doing these testing videos and I think they're helpful. So let me know what you think of these fragrances in the comment section. Have you tried them? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Are you planning on purchasing them or not? Do you think they are worth the money? I would love to know. Also, if you did like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.